I am continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. I will mention that my son and wife are in the room with me, and so you may hear some of them in the background. This video will be chapter 21 in the book of Judges. We are concluding the story of the Benjamite rebellion. So, brief overview, if you will recall, we had the Levite concubine who was murdered by the men of Gibeah. And when Israel came together to execute these men, Benjamin decided to defend the city of Gibeah instead of turning over the guilty parties. And as a result, we went to civil war and almost annihilated the entire tribe of Benjamin, down to 600 men of military age. That was all that was left. And they destroyed many of the cities of Benjamin and everything. So, chapter 21, here we go. The people bewailed the desolation of Benjamin. Inhabitants of Jabesh-gilead destroyed for not engaging in the war with Benjamin. Wives provided for remnant of Benjamin. This is an interesting one, and this shows us where I think Israel does go a little too far. Now the men of Israel had sworn in Mizpah, saying, There shall not any of us give his daughter unto Benjamin to wife. And the people came to the house of God, and abode there till even before God, and lifted up their voices, and wept sore, and said, O Lord God of Israel, why is this come to pass in Israel, that there should be today one tribe lacking in Israel? And it came to pass on the morrow, that the people rose early, and built there an altar, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. And the children of Israel said, Who is there among all the tribes of Israel that came not up with the congregation unto the Lord? For they had made a great oath concerning him that came not up to the Lord to Mizpah, saying, He shall surely be put to death. And the children of Israel repented then for Benjamin, their brother, and said, There is one tribe cut off from Israel this day. How shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing we have sworn by the Lord that we will not give them of our daughters to wives? Okay, now first of all, not giving their daughters to wives is just in line with the law of Moses. Remember, the law of Moses says that the daughters of one tribe are not to be married into the daughters of another tribe. So now, there's also the fact that you don't want Benjamin had defended one of the most vilely evil things that could ever happen, and so you don't want your daughters to be marrying men that were willing to defend that in the first place. But they also made the oath that if anybody did not come to the battle, that they would be held basically as guilty as Benjamin, saying, if you didn't come to put down the evil, then you are approving of the evil, and therefore you must also be put down. So now, with so few left in Benjamin, they don't want to actually destroy the entire tribe. They want all tribes of Israel. That was part of the covenant of Abraham. The covenant of Israel was that all of his sons would be great nations. How is that possible if you entirely wipe out one of the tribes? So they're trying to figure out how to maintain the tribe of Benjamin while at the same time not intermarrying with Benjamin. Verse 8, And they said, What one is there of the tribes of Israel that came not up to Mizpah to the Lord? And behold, there came none to the camp from Jabesh-gilead to the assembly. For the people were numbered, and behold, there were none of the inhabitants of Jabesh-gilead. And the congregation sent thither 12,000 men of the valiantest, and commanded them, saying, Go and smite the inhabitants of Jabesh-gilead with the edge of the sword, with the women and the children. And this is the thing that ye shall do. Ye shall utterly destroy every male and every woman that hath lain by man. And they found among the inhabitants of Jabesh-gilead 400 young virgins, that had known no man by lying with any male. And they brought them unto the camp to Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan. Okay, now, first, Gilead is in the land of Manasseh. Jabesh-gilead would be a region, therefore, within the tribe of Manasseh. All the other cities, now, it wasn't just tribes sending men. It was cities, it was families sending men to represent their city. Jabesh-gilead didn't send anybody. So, because of the oath, they go and destroy everything. They kill all men and all married women. Or widows, even. Anybody who has lain with a man. But all the virgins we're going to take and make them the wives of Benjamin. Okay. Verse 13. And the whole congregation sent some to speak to the children of Benjamin that were in the rock Rimmon, and to call peaceably unto them. And Benjamin came again at that time, and they gave them wives, which they had saved alive of the women of Jabesh-gilead. And yet so they sufficed them not. And the people repented them for Benjamin, because that the Lord had made a breach in the tribes of Israel. And when it says it sufficed them not, I mean, there were only 400 women that they found in Jabesh-gilead, but there were 600 Benjamites, so there were 200 women white. That's what it means by it did not suffice them. They didn't have enough women for all of them to have a wife. Verse 16. Then the elders of the congregation said, How shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing the women are destroyed out of Benjamin? And they said, There must be an inheritance for them that be escaped of Benjamin, that a tribe be not destroyed out of Israel. Howbeit we may not give them wives of our daughters, for the children of Israel have sworn, saying, Cursed be the man, cursed be he that giveth a wife to Benjamin. Then they said, Behold, there is a feast of the Lord in Shiloh yearly in a place which is on the north side of Bethel, on the east side of the highway that goeth up from Bethel to Shechem, and on the south of Lebanon. Not Lebanon, on the south of Lebonah. Therefore they commanded the children of Benjamin, saying, Go and lie in wait in the vineyards, and see, and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance and dances, then come ye out of the vineyard, and catch you every man his wife of the daughters of Shiloh, and go to the land of Benjamin. And it shall be, when their fathers or their brethren come unto us to complain, that we will say unto them, Be favorable unto them for our sakes, because we reserve not to each man his wife in the war. For ye did not give unto them at this time, that ye should be guilty. And the children of Benjamin did so, and took them wives according to their number of them that danced, whom they caught. And they went and returned unto their inheritance, and repaired the cities, and dwelt in them. And the children of Israel departed thence at that time, every man to his tribe and to his family, and they went out from thence every man to his inheritance. In those days there was no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes. Now this is the end of the book of Judges. We will still have to go back to chapter 13 and read about Samson. But there's a couple of things here. First of all, I don't think they needed to go and destroy the city of Jabesh-gilead. Now they made their oath, and they felt they needed to honor their oath, which maybe, but it was a stupid oath. But the biggest problem here is that, well, from the I'll just clarify, the reason why they didn't mind giving the daughters of Jabesh-gilead as wives to Benjamin is because since that city didn't come to the battle, that city did not make the oath. However, the whole thing about stealing the daughters of Shiloh, now that is wrong. They're kidnapping women and forcing them to marry. Israel may have been justified, or Israel was justified, in going to war. They may have been justified in destroying Jabesh-gilead. They were not justified in how they got new wives for Benjamin. Now, they did have to get new wives, because it does say that they destroyed all the cities. They killed all the women. There were no more women of marrying age in Benjamin. There was just these 600 men. There might have been some kids left. But there were no marrying age women, and so they had to get wives somehow. But the way they went about it it wasn't good, and it just shows us how even in times of relative righteousness in Israel, because this is the time of Phinehas, this is near the beginning. Even in those times, Israel was not really faithful. They always had their problems. like we all do. But this, along with the story of the Danites and Micah, show us Israel at its lowest. And I will say both of these stories seem to take place very early on in the time of the judges. So I am going to end it here. Say bye. And we'll see you in the next one.